Thanks for checking out this video. Don't forget, like and subscribe.
Lance, I'd like to talk about a topic that I know you would too, that's been on the minds and tongues of many people on the internet and the wrestling world, and that is the subject of dives. Because this past week, there was an instance in which Penelope Ford did a moonsault to the floor, and granted, I did not see the whole match. I have only seen that spot, but she did a moonsault to the floor against Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron in a match which her and Megan Bayne were trying to win the AEW Women's Tag Titles. And in the course of doing this moonsault to the floor, she suffered an ACL injury, I believe.
Oh, really? I heard it was an ankle.
Oh, was it ankle?
I heard a sprained ankle. Maybe
she got hurt. Hopefully it was just a sprained ankle. So what really the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the discourse that has come out of this. And there's been a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blaming at people one way or another. And both I and Lance have, very strong thoughts and opinions on this. So, Lance, I'd like to open it up, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'll start with, because again, I'm old. Back in my day, those who were really, really acrobatic and good at diving would only be the ones doing difficult dives, and they would only do them when they had people that were good at catching them. Ultimo Dragon's Acai moonsault, which he invented, he wouldn't do it on everybody because he wanted good catchers. And they also used to, and again, this is not pointing a finger at anyone, it's just they used to lay them out much more. Great Sasuke, Ultimo Dragon, would lay those moonsaults out so that you could catch them chest to chest, almost in a tombstone position, and prevent them from hitting the floor, especially because they generally dove on people bigger than them who could catch them. And then doing the moves became more important than the safety, and people who didn't do them as well would just flip and hope for the best. And I think Brian went on a rant yesterday about, when you plan on landing on your feet, you've got knees coming at your face and head, and they're hard to catch. And I've even had divers, I've heard them say, it's like, oh, I don't really need you to catch me, so just sort of be close by and I'll land on my feet, don't worry about it. And that's where those blaming poor Harley Cameron for not catching her, it's like, you don't even know if she was supposed to. Like, it's possible, Penelope said, it's like, oh, I'll just land on my feet, just be close to me, we'll be fine. And unfortunately, she hurt her ankle or knee. And it really comes down to what the goal is. And if you're expecting people to catch you, you need to dive in a manner by which you can be caught. And if you're planning on just landing on your feet and having people near you because you don't care all that much about being caught, then there's those risk of injuries. We've seen a couple of the moonsaults where they over-rotate and smash their head on the floor and get concussed.
Yeah.
Or just landing on your feet, and eventually your knees and ankles are going to go, because I don't even like jumping off the apron and landing on my feet anymore because my knees hurt too much. So you should not be pointing fingers when you don't know what the plan was going into the dive, and we should also be more cautious with dives because a lot of people do ones that are hard to catch. And, Brian's an advocate for just the traditional high cross body off the top rope to the floor. Looks great and is catchable. And again, especially if you jump on people who are bigger than you that can catch you. So you don't have Mike Awesome diving on poor Spike Dudley, which was done back in the day and did neither one of them any favors.
But it was awesome.
Got a pop, but poor Spike got squashed, and Mike did on more than one occasion blow an ACL doing that dive.
Well, one of the issues too with, and I'll say from experience being in there and catching people on dives, is that, like you mentioned, on this moonsault especially that Penelope Ford does, and she has done it without being injured. We've seen that happen. However, it only takes there's a small margin of error when you're coming off the top rope like that. It's not something I think that she's out there practicing all the time, because how could you? You know what I mean? You can't go and risk doing that to the floor without some sort of gigantic padding there, without risking injury. And quite frankly, it's not worth it to do it in training. It's much more beneficial just to, kind of know how to do the moonsault, get out there and give it a shot. Unless you have this giant crash pad. And even then, that's going to alter how you land as well. So it's something that is very hard to train. Now, as a base or somebody who's catching the dive, more often than not, in the sort of moonsault that Penelope Ford was doing and the sort of moonsault that you'll see Tiffany Stratton do, Charlotte, where they backflip and land on their feet and don't want to be caught, you're usually told to step in. And I'll usually ask whoever's doing the dive, how do you want to be caught? Do you want to go over my back and kind of land on my shoulder in almost like a power slam position, or like the moonsault? Do you want me to catch you? Do you want me to grab you and bring you down with me? Even when somebody is doing something as simple as a tope suicida, a suicide dive, I'll ask, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to take it? Do you want me to put my hands up? Do you want me to just eat it? What is the best? How close do you want me to be? Something like a tope con hilo. And of all things, I am not, saying I am a great professional wrestler by any means, but I am willing to put myself in danger, at least for the other person's sake, to catch a dive. And there's been one time I remember really not getting there. I was too far back as a guy did a flip dive, a tope con hilo over the top. It was against Trey Lamar at a Black Label Pro show during the day portion of a 2-day show. So that tells you how vividly I remember not catching somebody on a dive. And, I think that's one of the other things. You have to be comfortable putting yourself in danger for the other person. And it's not something that you can do. You have to go over that beforehand.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can't do this sort of thing on the fly. You have to know, yes, I am comfortable getting in the way. Yes, I am comfortable sacrificing myself. Maybe I'm going to eat one of these knees, and that is just that's collateral damage if we're doing something, this dangerous. Does it have to be done? No. But it's not my style. It's not my favorite thing that I like to watch in wrestling, but it is part of the lay of the land nowadays. And if people are going to be doing these crazy top rope dives to the outside, both people have to be in agreement of exactly where you're going to stand, where you're going to land, so that we don't see basically non-contact injuries like this happen throughout wrestling in the future.
Have you grabbed your F4WOnline.com shirt yet? Well, we got a bunch of them. They're up in the store right now. F4WOnline.com/shirts. You can grab your -5 stars shirt, your Dave Meltzer Wrestling Observer shirts, even the brand new After Dark Radio shirt. You love Granny? We have Granny's Gang shirts. Have you ever won a shoot battle royal? Probably not, but you can tell people you did. So check out the store. All of these great shirts and more. It's through Pro Wrestling Tees. F4WOnline.com/shirts. That's F4WOnline.com/shirts.